there's any wardens watching this, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know what I was stumbling into. What is this place? So from what I can tell, there's 9 or 10 Indian mounds.
Where's the new truck camper?
So it looks to me like you used to be able to drive a car up here. And no one's been sitting on these things in a long time. Truck's locked. Let's give it a go. Hey friends, welcome back to another adventure. I'm Dustin with Dusty Outdoors, and in this video, we do a little truck camping in the Yellow River State Forest in Iowa, and then we come back across the Mississippi into Wisconsin and stop at a couple places, and I found what I thought was abandoned, and it might be. I need to do some more research on it, but a really cool place, basically in my backyard, generally speaking. You're going to want to stick around for this one because it seems like I might have stumbled upon the largest cavern system in this entire area. So join me and let's go on an adventure. So this week I'm going to a place in Iowa that I've heard a lot about, never been to myself. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but we're gonna, dip our toes in the water, per se, at this place for the first time, and that is the Yellow River State Forest in Iowa. And we could get some accumulating snow overnight. Now, when I look at the radar, I don't know that that's going to happen, but we shall see. Now, I will let you know that I do have the old truck camper back on the truck, and there's several reasons for that, which we'll get into a little bit later in the video. But having said that, I did have to do a little bit of maintenance to the truck camper. As some of you longtime viewers know, that is set up with a diesel heater. That's been in there for about, a year and a half or so. And the elements had got to a couple things on it. Was looking pretty crusty. It probably still worked, honestly, but it was looking pretty crusty. And then on the inside, my screen quit working. It was flashy, which it was flashing kind of on and off, glitching out, and it would never actually get to making the pump work. So since I was replacing the screen, I just replaced the pump as well. Of course, when I replaced the pump, I noticed that the holder for the fuel pump was extremely dry rotted and really soft. So it had lost its elasticity or its tightness around it, but I didn't have a new one. So I did just put the new pump back in it, put it back in, mounted it back to the side of the truck camper, and the very first time I drove the truck, it fell off. So the fuel pump was just hanging by its cords. Having said that, today, just before getting in the truck and heading out, I did put a new fuel pump mount on the truck camper. So now I got a new screen, new fuel pump mount, and I had everything working. I had everything working when I left, so hopefully it does tonight. I had a bit of a struggle to get the diesel heater to work. I think I was working air out of the lines, but man, it was probably 7 or 8 attempts to get that thing to start and actually keep going. There we got another sunlight over there. One's a little newer. So this is Big Paint Campground. I want to go check out Little Paint Campground and decide on which one we want to stay at. Friends, this place is awesome. There's no service whatsoever here. And I'm just getting registered now. But it's $12 a night. They're all off-grid, no electricity that I can see. And man, we scored a great spot. Can't wait to show you in the morning. Still raining. I'm getting the diesel heater going, but I gotta get registered. Alright, we're in the camper. Diesel heater's going. It's currently, says it's 40 degrees outside, 45 degrees inside. Filling out my registration here, and unfortunately I'm struggling to find my checkbook. And if I don't find my checkbook, then the old Iowa DNR is going to be getting a $20 bill for a $12 campsite. They're getting a 20. Dang, I cannot find my checkbook. I'm sure I'll find it tomorrow. Generally how it goes. Well, at least it's going to a nice campground. Seems like they do a pretty good job. I'm sure they'll use the money wisely. Alright, so I got one more of my little lights. Same exact light as I got on each side that I set for dim when nothing's moving, it's just real dim. And then if something moves by, it goes bright. Now this one's fresh out of the box. Hasn't really seen much sun at all, so it's got a little charge to it, but probably not much. But I'm just getting this set up so I can put it on the back of the truck. I think they're around $12 for 2 of them off Amazon. Not bad at all. And all I do pretty much with everything inside and outside of the camper like this is I just Velcro it. I get adhesive back Velcro, and that's what I use. I generally put the soft side of the Velcro on the actual object, and then I put the harder side on the camper. Alright, so pretty much the whole back I cover. My other two have been on there now for quite some time, haven't fallen off, so I'm going to take that as a good sign that this will work. See, then I just stick them on like this, and then I'll peel the back off, and I'll stick the light right where I want it, and then it's good to go. Here you go, friends. There we go. We got all 3 sides lit up right now. All right, friends, we'll watch them all go down one by one. Now that's what I like. As soon as I start walking around, they all light up. I definitely am noticing that I've forgotten a few things in the other camper. I had some mac and cheese in the other camper. I had I also forgot my smaller pan. So I got the slightly bigger pan, and I do have some cheesy jalapeno burger, Campbell's Chunky Soup. We're gonna put that on the fire. Getting there. I did manage to get a text from Lauren down here. I don't know how long ago she sent it, but it is officially snowing at home. We're down pretty deep in a valley here, a fairly large valley, and it seems to be holding the heat down in here, so it's still around 40 degrees. When I know it was only 35, I think, when we were still up on the ridge before we started coming down in the valley.
Oh, did we see some boiling action there? Guys, there's nothing like a warm bowl of soup. And a soup that's got a little spice, a little heat to it. Sitting around a fire on a cool, wet November night. Totally off grid, but we're living large still. We are. I was hoping to do some sort of meat over the fire, but with it raining and stuff today, I opted out of that. I do feel a breeze coming kind of from behind me. And that breeze has definitely got a chill to it, so it may snow yet tonight. But before it snows, that cold weather, that cold air's got to get down in this valley. Very well could be snowing up on top of the ridge right now. Like I said, it is at home, but that's about an hour and a half away. So, but I'm saying right here where I am, it could be snowing just at the top of the ridge here. I've definitely seen that many times. Alright, so you're all probably having the question, where's the new truck camper? Well, it's at home. It's at home, parked in the same spot, on the same trailer that the old truck camper is parked on. And there's several reasons, and I'm going to get into exactly why that is right after I eat supper here. I'm going to watch this fire burn down a little bit, and when we get into the truck camper, I'll let you know why I have the old camper back on. Guys, I know we're in Iowa right now, but I spend a lot of time in Wisconsin. That's where I'm from, so I like to read this book and read about hikes that a person can do while he's at certain places. Well, before I get too deep into this book here and some hikes, I'm looking at the Superior lowland area, which is northern Wisconsin, Bayfield, Superior, kind of that area. I really like that area, and there's definitely some hikes here. But let me just get right into why I have my old truck camper back on. There's a few reasons. One of the reasons is, and I've already kind of elaborated a little bit on it, the way the thing pops up and down, there's nothing wrong with it. It works flawless. It's just not the same as this. Like I've mentioned on a past video, this I can do, outside of unclipping the 4 clamps from outside, I can do everything from inside. I'm able to shut all the windows and shut the doors so everything's sealed up, and then I turn my ceiling fan on reverse so it's sucking air out of the camper, and it sucks my sides in as I lower this thing from sitting right here on the bed, right here on this bed. Another reason is, and I should have known that I'd be like this, but I didn't think about it, the new camper is extremely nice. Like, this thing has been, I don't know, kept indoors or something its whole life. It is very nice. It's a 2004. Having said that, it's basically like new condition. So I found myself not going down 2 tracks and roads that I would with this, because I didn't want to hit the air conditioner on overhanging branches or scratch down the side with brush that's encroaching on the trail, stuff like that. So I was finding myself at state parks a little bit more, which is okay, but I don't like that where I want to know what's down a road and then something stopping me like that from going down there. And I still look a little bit with this camper to make sure I can get down it, but the other one's just so nice I didn't want to scuff it up at all. And then the third main reason is because it's, well, first off, I winterized it now, so all the water lines and everything is all winterized. I wouldn't be able to use any of that stuff anyways during the winter. I'd basically be using that camper, the new camper, like I'm using this camper, with no amenities because they're all winterized. But then I circle around to, it's such a nice camper, I found myself not wanting to have it on the truck during the winter and just have it be getting all the slush and salt and elements from winter just on it all winter. So I took it off. I originally just took it off just to have it winterized for the winter, but the more I think about it, I may just leave it off. I may sell it. I know you guys are probably, some of you are probably rolling your eyes, but it's very nice. And for the right person, for someone else that only camps in the summer, only camps at established campgrounds, stuff like that, that thing would be such a perfect camper. For me, I found myself when I was in it, don't get me wrong, I was loving the amenities, but I was constantly finding myself comparing certain things on that camper to this one, and wishing that I had this one on the truck so that I wasn't so worried about scuffing it, and it's just quicker to put up and down. You know, and then there's one other thing. The dinette in the new camper is not as long as this one, so I can't sleep straight out in the dinette bed in the new camper, whereas I can in this one. And that's nice because I don't always have the top popped. If it's extremely windy or torrential downpours, if it's super cold, like negative temperatures, I have the top down on this one. It's much less square footage to heat, so you use less power and less fuel. I just wouldn't be able to do that in the other one. Not comfortably. Those are my reasons. You know, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, whether you think they're good reasons or not good reasons. In the end, they're my reasons, and I just have this old Sunlight camper set up so darn perfectly for me and what I do. There's room for improvement, but it's just the perfect little adventure rig, and I was real happy to get it back on and be back in it. The most immediate issue with this camper is my door's starting to fall apart. Like the framework, the corners are starting to separate, so the door is just very flimsy right now. It's starting to make it not want to open and shut. I would love to just buy a new door for this thing, but it's like an old style door, so it's got 90-degree corners on it, like very sharp 90-degree corners, and all the new style doors are rounded corners. So I don't know what to do. If any of you guys know of somewhere where I can get old style camper door, like a new one, let me know in the comments. That would be just golden information to me. Otherwise, I'm pondering how I either try to fix this one, which is like last resort, or how I can make my own. But I'll quit talking your ear off because I know you guys don't like that and you start skipping ahead or leaving the video. So I'm going to continue reading my hiking book, and we'll see y'all in the morning. Good night, friends. Good morning, friends. Looks like a real pretty morning outside. Clouds have cleared. Sun's hitting the hillside over here. It got real cold last night. It says it's 27 degrees outside right now, 52 inside. And let me show you some stats here on my setup. So, as you can see, we've been running the diesel heater for 15 hours and 8 minutes. I've charged my GoPro batteries, my phone batteries, and my microphones, all with the EB55 Bluetti. After charging all that and running the diesel heater for 15 hours, we got 40% left. I'm happy with that. My biggest fear overnight was that I was going to run out of diesel because I forgot to fill it yesterday, and we only had about that much in the tank. So I bet once we go outside, there ain't going to be much left. I personally thought I was going to run out before now, but this setup, it's just sips on the electricity and just sips on the diesel fuel. It's pretty good. So I'm just getting dressed here, put my belt on, gonna make some coffee, and then we're gonna get outside. It's gonna be cold. If I had the top down last night instead of up, I wouldn't have had to change anything on the diesel heater, and it would have been 10 degrees warmer in here. Because although it's better than outside, 52 is still a little chilly, friends. Well, gosh darn it, that's a big negative on that.
Guess where my jet boil is? Man, I'm bad about that stuff. Jet boil's in the other camper. No coffee this morning. That's okay, friends. We're tough. We're strong. We don't need coffee. I just gotta keep telling myself that. Make it through the morning. We're not even really close to a town where I can just slip into town and get some coffee either. Man, that wind has got a nip to it. So here's right behind the camper. There's one more spot beyond me, kind of right there. Then there's a whole bunch of spots in the middle, all throughout here. This is a beautiful campground. Beautiful. It being a state forest, of course, you know, if you got kids like we do, there's no like playground or anything like that they can play on. It's great for like what I'm doing right now. Moon's out. You can see it up there a little bit. And the campground goes way, way back that way. I would say like a mile. You got to cross the creek twice, and there's just campsites all through it. And oddly enough, this campground is called Little Paint Campground. And it's 4 times bigger than Big Paint Campground, which is the first little single looped campground we went to. Then right up there, like the first campsite you go by, right up there, that's a handicap accessible one, so it's all leveled out, very nice and smooth. And that is just a giant pine tree that we're parked under. Well, let's pack up and see what there's to do in the area here. You got the Yellow River, hence the Yellow River State Forest. That's not directly, like there's a little creek that runs through right here. So we can go check out the creek. We'll just see what the area has in store. Like I said, I've never been to this particular area. There's the truck. We just crossed the creek here, which I don't really want to get too close because it's ice on the cement on each side. The truck was spinning. Yep, ice. But they got some handicap spots here, and then a nice paved area down so that with a curb for safety for people in wheelchairs and whatnot, so that they can enjoy the creek as well and fish. Looks like there's a pretty deep hole out there, so I'm sure there's trout in here. Ooh, and that's up the creek there. So beautiful spot. Rock outcroppings, whatnot. See, like that's glare ice right there. That's from the rain yesterday, and now it's 27 degrees. Got a bridge across the creek over there. And then if we were to keep going that way, you end up crossing this creek again to get further back. Oh yeah, let's I forgot to look at how much diesel we had left. Let's take a look. Oh, not bad. Oh. So right here. We probably started around right here. There's a trail. The trail's open to hiking, horseback riding, biking. Ah, that's cool. We'll have to bring the bike here sometime, friends. Old Shabloozy here, the truck. She's just not liking this cold weather. Shabloozy's just high idling it all over the place. But she's taking care of me. Got that heated steering wheel on, heated seat on. Those come on when it's below 40 degrees, I think. Oh, feels so good. This is the first truck I ever had with fancy stuff like heated seats and heated steering wheel. Oh, I take that back. My black one, my Eco Diesel Ram 1500 had it. What a bougie feature. A heated steering wheel. I never thought I would need something like that, which I don't need it. But man, once you've had a heated steering wheel, it's hard to imagine having a vehicle without one. I bet this place is just packed in the summer. And if it's not, then I just found a gem. But I bet it is. There's no way it can't be. Got us a bow hunter right here. And I am fairly certain that's what a majority of the people camping down there are doing right now, are probably bow hunting. But that's also kind of why I'm not like going for a hike in the state forest, because right now it's like prime bow hunting. And all these people are out there trying to bag themselves a buck or a deer or some meat for overwinter, and I ain't gonna get in the way of that. There might still be a couple places we could go on a hike. There's Little Paint Campground, or there's Big Paint Campground right down there. That's that first loop we did. Well, friends, my theory was correct. It did snow up on top of the ridge last night. Just a little bit. All right, I have came up with a plan for today. It's, like I say, it's a little cold. It's really cold and windy. It's just, it's early in winter, so I haven't became accustomed to the cold yet. So whereas 27 degrees at the end of winter is like basically springtime here in the Midwest. 27 degrees at the beginning of winter is like borderline unlivable, if you know what I mean. Kenny of All Trades actually said it perfectly a while back. I don't have my winter legs on yet. So, but I have a plan. There's a couple places I'd like to visit where we can basically drive to it. Both places, well, it looks like you can drive to it. Both places I've never been to before, but they both look interesting. We do have to cross this Mississippi back into Wisconsin, and we will be going up the Wisconsin River Valley. But this was Harper's Ferry. I'd never been here. I wanted to go here. Before we leave Harper's Ferry, I do want to see if I can get out. It looks like there's a road you can take out on the dam, just to see what that looks like. And then after that, we're going to head back over to Wisconsin. All right, so where I was wanting to go was down this road, but there's a gate down there, and it won't let you. It looked like there was a road that you could drive out on top of the dam, which there is. It's just gated. So, all right, we'll head out and head over to the Wisconsin River. All right, friends, this is a little wayside here, and it's called Indian Mound Park. And you can see out through there, there's 1, 2, 3. Here's another one right here in front of me. These are all Indian mounds. I can only assume that they're burial mounds. There's a long one up there. There's another one right there. There, we're walking past one. Here's another little one right here. Right up here is a very long one. So from what I can tell, there's 9 or 10 Indian mounds. Now sometimes they would do mounds just as like symbolism, but a lot of the time they're burial mounds. There's no service right here, so I couldn't really look up which type these were, but if I had to guess, I would say burial mounds because they're not like a shape of an animal or anything. Indian mounds are kind of a thing in this area, kind of where the Wisconsin and Mississippi join up. We're about 8 miles from where the confluence of the rivers is, but this whole area, the Iowa side as well, there's quite a few of these Indian mounds. One of the most famous ones in the area, maybe even in the country, is called Effigy Mounds. That's just across the river in Iowa. We actually drove right past it earlier today. Thought I'd stop here on our way to the next destination. Pretty cool. All right, we made it to Kikapoo Caverns. Never been here, which is pretty crazy because one of my childhood homes is probably 4 miles from here. The way the crow flies. Says it's under 24-hour video surveillance. I don't see a camera around here right now, but I'm sure it's probably trail cameras. Open to hunting, skiing, and hiking, and looking through binoculars. Don't know what to expect. Don't know how long the hike is, but we're about to find out. Truck's locked. Let's give it a go. Now, like I said, it is hunting season, but there's no cars parked here. So I think we're pretty safe in that we're not disrupting anyone's hunt. It has made it up to a whopping 28 degrees. Depending on how far we have to hike up the side of the hill here, we are kind of down in a valley. So the breeze ain't too bad. That's crazy. There was just like 7 or 8 mourning doves all in a little group right there. Well, that tree there is definitely resting on that line. I don't know if that's a telephone wire or a power line. So we've hiked a little bit. I've never, like I said, I've never been here, so I don't know if this is taking us to the caverns or what. Yeah, that must be like an old telephone wire. It's not in use anymore because there's no insulators or anything on it on the post there. All right, well, I do see some restrooms up there, it looks like, so maybe we're getting close. Then that wire, that line, whatever it might be, I don't know, maybe it is power. It can't be, it's too low. That heads over there. I wonder if where we parked is like the only access to this place or what. It's so unsuspecting. You could so easily drive right by that and just think it's like a woods road for a farmer. What a cool little hidden gem. quite the hike up this hill, though. This is pretty cool. So it looks to me like you used to be able to drive a car up here. Well, you still could, but it's closed. Closed to cars. It's only hike. Here we got some of that snow from last night. Picnic tables. Doesn't this kind of look like an old parking lot? Okay, so there is a power box on the bottom of that pole. This is like borderline abandoned, I'd say. An abandoned little spot, but it is mowed, so. I don't know where the caverns are. There's a path that goes that way. Is there a path that goes past the restrooms here? Or is this only going to the restrooms? Well, this turned into a little exploration adventure here. Some concrete. No, this only goes to the bathrooms. Not stocked anymore. So it looks like they've got a little trash. What's this? Mouse turds all over the top of it. Oh, little supply bin. Yeah, the little critters definitely like it in here. All right. Well, we'll have to come here in the summer sometime to see if it's set up any differently. It's like it almost looks borderline abandoned, yet it's mowed. While at the same time, it's like no one's been sitting on these things in a long time. I might have just found a sweet little hidden gem, though, to bring the fam to during the summer or whatever, and just kind of have the place to ourselves. Right here, right next to the old parking lot, just a tore up pine tree from a buck, racking its antlers on it. There we got some more power stuff going on over there. But there is a slightly mowed path down this way, and I'm hoping this is the way to the caverns, because it did say there was caverns here somewhere. Oh, I see the roof to some kind of structure over here. Oh, this has got to be it. More power box stuff over there. Yeah, right there. Power lines with a light. Well, I don't know. This looks pretty unkept. What is this place? So we'll go check that out in a second. What's over here? Okay, that's just like some sort of sinkhole right there. I think. Yeah, this is crazy. I had no clue this was up here. What was this? Oh, it's an old outhouse. Everything seems to be locked. Wish I could see in it. Well, there's a path going up that way. Some benches. What's this say? Friends, this is so cool. Kola. Greetings. Wisconsin's largest natural cavern system measured by the State Caving Society. Larger than the Cave of the Mounds, centuries-old Indian shelter used by the Kikapoo, 16th century. Educational guided tours. Safe, clean, and well-lighted cement walks. Caverns or museum admittance by paid admission only. Pay admission inside. Enjoy your tour. Well, those signs down at the bottom where we parked definitely still said this was state-owned land, and then it was open to that stuff. Man, I wish I could see in there. Bunch of broken glass. What's going on here? Okay, that's screwed shut. I wonder where the caverns are. I'm gonna have to do some more research on this, friends. Clearly, it's unused. And I would be willing to bet there's no power even going to this anymore. What's this? Oh, that's the cavern. See, friends? There's the door. And then you got your stairs going down into it. That is insane crazy. I got to do some research to see why this closed. I wish I could show you better. What a cool place to find. This does look abandoned to me for sure. Wish I could get in there a little better to show you. So yeah, you can see where they have still extension cords plugged in going down. I'm sure that was lights to light up the cavern. I had no clue we were going to find this here. I thought it was going to be like a hike with some shallow little caverns on the hillside or something we could look at, which would have been cool because we could have seen the caverns then. But I think what we found is way more cool. I may have found out a new spot to come and hang out once in a while. That's so cool. I wish we could get in there. I am just dying to know why they closed this place down. So, that appears to be sections of fence that would have probably gone right here and blocked off that hillside part. Oh yeah, there's a camera right there. So, pretty cool. I don't think I did anything wrong. I didn't try to get in or nothing. That's so cool. Check this out. I wonder if it looked this cool back when it was in its prime, all covered like this. Okay, so there's a vent or some other cavern that's covered up. Caves closed, it says. For the same reason all caves close this time of year, the white nose syndrome. And I mentioned that a couple videos back when we were at Wailusing. Now I have heard as of lately that the bat population that's been decimated by white nose syndrome is coming back around. So the state's efforts and whatnot, closing everything down, is definitely paying off. So a lot of the signage and stuff around here seems fairly recent, but man, it does not look like this place is open for business anymore. And I totally think that this was a parking lot you used to be able to drive your vehicles to, park, and go and pay to have a cave tour. I think I might actually sit down at this picnic table here and see if I can do a little research at this. So there is the way down that I went the back way unknowingly. So if there's any wardens watching this, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know what I was stumbling into. So cool though. If there is some wardens watching, comment in the description below Why the heck is this thing not open? Maybe it didn't generate enough revenue. Visitors and stuff, I don't know. I'm gonna see what I can find out now though, friends. So according to what I can figure out is due to bat protection, trying to protect the bats in this cave, because it is such a large cavern system and it houses so many bats and stuff like that. It looks to me like it's only open one day a year for guided tours. That's what this article's saying so far. Is that still happening though? It must be, because that would make sense then. Maybe for that one day a year they do open up this road to come up here. But it's like, man, there's trees on the power line. So I just asked the internet if this place was abandoned. It says, no, it's not abandoned. It is a protected natural preserve managed by the Mississippi Valley Conservancy. While it is closed for public tours during the winter hibernation season, August 15th through May 15th, the land is open for other year-round activities like hiking, and the caverns themselves are open for limited guided tours during the warmer months. So that would explain why the extension cord and stuff going down in there looks, fairly new. Here's some, I don't know if you can even really see that, but pretty cool. Really cool, actually. I think we're going to have to get signed up for a tour for that one day. Bring y'all along this coming summer. Let me know in the comments. Is that something you'd be interested in? But see, even on this picture here, there's a sign that hangs right over there, and that sign's gone. And everything's in such a dilapidated state. I don't know. It's very confusing. I'll have to do some more figuring on that. They even got a speaker on the tree there. I'm guessing that's for announcing tours if you're sitting up here hanging out. Well, friends, I'm going to end the episode here. This was amazing. We're definitely going to have to come back during the summer and try to get us a tour down in these caverns and see what it looks like when it's open. It definitely looks abandoned and closed right now. Great campground we stayed at, and this was a great hike. Great hike. Make sure you give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always, to the military men and women, past, present, future, thank you for your service. Thank you for my freedom, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Later, friends.